Schmoovement in video games? 9 minutes? Fucking yes!
When Overwatch first came out, I was pretty excited as an avid Team Fortress 2 fan. But when I started playing and realized that rocket jumping, basically the most iconic mechanic in the FPS genre, had been replaced with a single button press, I literally just quit the game.
Oh,
now, was this a fair and reasonable way for me to have judged Overwatch? Yeah, I think so. But listen, hear me out. Once you spend enough time with games where the movement is tight, nuanced, and technical, like in TF2, the act of executing that movement becomes deeply carved into your neural pathways. In essence, it's like having brainworms that can kickflip.
Yes.
There's just a certain deep satisfaction that comes with having even the most rudimentary mastery of complex traversal mechanics.
Yeah.
In the vast majority of games, since you spend 95+% of your time controlling your character, having a toolbox full of movement options lets that time feel well
spent. Is that Titanfall?
Spent.
Damn, that looks good. Oh, surfing! Bit of an old pro.
Sick-ass movement comes at the cost of challenge. But the initial learning process is packed with these tiny wins as you nail down the building blocks for the first time. And once you're able to start to take those individual skills and actually piece them together, that steady drip feed of satisfaction turns into a torrential flow state.
Ooh! Ooh! Oh! Oh, a little tribes action?
In 1993, this old shooter called, I can never pronounce this, Daom, decided to let you use a rocket launcher as a weapon. And if you shot a rocket...
Who is this guy? Wait, pause for a second. Who is this guy? What? Bro, how the fuck you got well-paced, well-edited, good music, interesting subject? Oh, YouTube's fucked, dude. No one's gonna be able to make any money. No one's gonna be able to make any money in YouTube because every fucking kid has learned every possible good technique. And then the competition's gonna be so insane that everyone is making insane videos for fucking $14. The days of easy money on YouTube are over, dude. Anyway, check him out. Obviously, I'm gonna watch the rest of this. Check it out. Resprit. Resprit. And I'll drop a link at the end of it.
Then, a few years later, this other old game called Quake copied the rocket launcher from Daom. But this time, if you shot yourself with a rocket, your guy would go, brrrr. Rocket jumping is the basic result of a physics system that preserves momentum and also lets you play with explosives. It's very easy to understand conceptually, but in practice, not so much. At all moments of the skill, you must adhere to the law of gravity while at the same time do your best to violate it. Every rocket you shoot requires proper timing and precise aim. The best rocket jumpers in the world have spent thousands of hours honing this shit, and yet still, there's more that's left to master.
Oh, it's so satisfying to do.
Unless all you have to do is press shift. Mario has set and continues to set the standard for what it means to be a 3D platformer. And yet the most impressive thing about the franchise is that they nailed this shit from day one.
Facts.
In 1996, the same year as Quake, Nintendo dropped the N64.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Wait, that is crazy. This dropped same year as Quake. No, I think no game in the history of games has aged as beautifully. At least the history of 3D games. Let's say 3D to be fair. This game was so far ahead of its time when it came out that it still holds up as a pretty damn good game today. This game is really legendary. Someone said in chat, but if you try to play GoldenEye on the N64 nowadays, it's unplayable. The controls are so bad. The graphics are so bad. Everything is so bad. And then Super Mario 64 still clean.
Mario 64 is, pretty decisively, the GOAT of speedrunning games. And it earns that title thanks to the game's willingness to just hand the player a box full of tools and say, do whatever the you want.
True facts.
It is an incredible amount of respect that is given to the player from a game made by a company that has demonstrated such little respect.
Ooh, he even calls him out too.
Super Smash Bros. Melee is, in my opinion, the gold standard for buttery movement when it comes to 2D platformers. It is literally...
Alright, is this guy pandering to me specifically? This got submitted in my chat. It has 3,000 views. It's got Schmoovement in the title. It says fucking Nintendo. It's calling Mario 64 goated. It's calling Melee goated. This feels like so up my fucking alley. I feel like, wait a minute, my pandering sense is going off because I agree with every opinion in this video. When I hear this, I know that my opinions are already being reinforced. I'm gonna let you cook.
When you first start playing Melee, it feels clunky and unwieldy because the game is so strict about how it handles inputs. but that strictness enables extremely responsive controls. And once your inputs become tight enough, your character starts to feel like an extension of yourself.
True.
Every character in Melee offers a unique sensation with their gameplay, having their own individual cadences and tempos when you play them. Fox and Falco have identical movesets, but Fox is smooth peanut butter, while Falco is extra crunchy, skippy, super crunch, and Knuckles.
That made no sense as an analogy. I want you to know they don't have the same moveset, and that it's calling one that kind of peanut butter and the other one, that made no sense analogy. I get what you're going for.
As the games industry has grown and developers have increasingly prioritized super approachable control schemes, indie games have carried the mantle when it comes to offering access to high mastery Schmoovement. Later, games like Super Meat Boy
I love Super Meat Boy,
which further exhibited a clear and deliberate effort to offer movement that was both highly fluid while also honoring the inputs of the player.
This is a long time ago, but I do remember I went on like a weekend trip with Ari. I didn't do anything that weekend but play Super Meat Boy on my laptop. She got pissed because I just got into it and I got addicted, dude. I was just grinding it.
In the past several years, something I never expected to happen has occurred in the world of Schmoovement. Major innovations that go beyond traditional FPS and platforming. Firstly, I've got to talk about Fortnite. Over the past 5 years, public opinion on Fortnite has ebbed and flowed. But throughout it all, there has been a general lack of recognition of just how fucking incredible and deep the building system in this game is. And to be fair, that makes sense. I have gripes with how Epic handles Fortnite as a game. Yeah. When I did play Fortnite actively, I could spend hours doing nothing but build in an empty world.
I mean, I agree. I think Fortnite build is sick, but I think I can see why most people don't like it.
I was a pretty early adopter of commercial VR. The headset itself was cool and all, but once they added the controllers, one session of Super Hot, and I was sold. The most glaring issue with VR games, however, is that traversal usually sucks ass. Most often, you're relegated to either pointing to teleport or extremely basic linear movement using the joysticks, both of which understandably attempt to avoid offending our sensibilities. So for a while, the most interesting approach I tried was Echo VR's zero gravity movement. It was neat, it certainly offered a lot to master, but it never really wowed me. At the end of the day, floating in space feels, well, floaty. And then I learned about Gorilla Tag. You're a gorilla, you only have 2 arms. When you push against the terrain, it pushes you back. The goal, play tag with other gorillas. Just like rocket jumping, Gorilla Tag offers a simple physics premise that elegantly hits the sweet spot between being highly intuitive and highly nuanced. Figuring out how to get around in this world feels like learning how to fly, and watching the top players move is completely mesmerizing. You top everything off with these charming low poly graphics and the low price of $0.00, and you have a pretty sweet game. The only problem is that once you cross the threshold and enter a public lobby, you are immediately confronted with an adolescent anarchy hellscape. Luckily, you can play with your friends. All of your friends in their late 20s who own a VR headset and still game. Yeah. I guarantee you that in 10 years, there will be kids turned adults who still play Gorilla Tag in order to seek a meditative comfort in its Schmoovement. And that's because at the end of the day, Schmoovement is a form of self-expression.
True.
It's taking what you have, coming up with a goal, and finding a way to achieve it that satisfies you. So go out there, find something that you think looks cool. Try it and suck.
Good advice.
And then keep sucking until one day you realize that something that used to feel hard
feels
kind of seamless. Relish that feeling, and then try the next thing that seems cool to you. You're on your way. Good luck. Have fun.
Wow. That was a great video. And you paced it well, too. 9 minutes. Chef's kiss. Check him out. Resprit.